Well, I'm here with my friend and colleague and brother, Rod Brandsen from Gibson CRC, and I'm excited to share just kind of a little bit of an update with you in regards to some things that Calvary and Gibson are pursuing together. Now, for over 110 years, right, Calvary Church has existed as a community that seeks to live life on mission with God. But in addition to that, we have experienced the faithfulness of God through tangible expressions of generosity from our sisters and brothers in Classis, Holland. Whether that be from sharing used choir robes and used Bibles, used hymnals, to literally purchasing a church building, or even being financially bailed out by Classis, Holland. And it's that generosity that we've been allowed to experience the faithfulness of God, and that generosity that drives us to this relationship with Gibson and Rod. So Rod?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks so much, Matthew, and thank you so much, Calvary Church, for the opportunity to partner together a bit. Gibson Church has been in existence in Laketown Township between Holland and Saugatuck, if you're not exactly sure where we are. Has been in existence since the 1800s as a faith community presence, specifically as a CRC church since the 1950s or so. And over the course of the last 10, 15, 20 years for sure, Gibson's neighborhood, Laketown Township, has changed so dramatically. And Gibson Church itself has changed as children grew and moved away from home and got married and so on. And so Gibson found itself in a place of seeking renewal, wondering what has God got next? What is the next chapter of ministry and church life for Gibson Church? And so part of that process was myself coming on board as their interim commission pastor and engaging with the Center for Church Renewal in the Renewal Lab. So what we realized early on is that through COVID and through a couple of years of just trying to get our feet under us and understand where we were headed, we have 9 people of Gibson, a nice cross-section of people that are on our Renewal Lead team. But what we were having difficulty doing was fielding an additional council. We had 2 elders, 2 deacons when I started. That came down to 1 elder and 1 deacon through the season of COVID and not able to find other people. And so we found ourselves wondering how we would go further and forward without having a council. Well, church order does provide an option for churches to take on emerging status when specifically they can't field enough people for a council. When the church is small enough, we gather, by the way, with 20 to 35 people on any given Sunday. And so we examined that, explored that, prayed about that, discerned the Spirit leading us to seek emerging status. And then through some conversations with a couple of other churches and just prayer and discernment, Matthew and I ended up in a conversation that then broadened out to include others, both at Calvary and the board and at Gibson. And God has led us together to partner together. What we really need is to be under the umbrella of a church council, of a church that we can report to and are accountable to. Financially, we really don't have a need for anything to be supported with there. God has been faithful and the Gibson folks have been faithful. It's just offering us that opportunity to focus all of our leadership, skill, and energy into renewal right now. And so that's why we're so grateful for the support, for the prayers, the interest of a church that understands the renewal process and can just come alongside of us with encouragement and, again, prayer.
So primarily we'll be overseeing Rod's life, ministry, and doctrine, but this is the beginning of a relationship with a small commitment, but with great potential. We don't know where God is going to lead us, but we've mutually agreed that we want to continue to listen and continue to listen how God might be drawing us together as faith communities, but primarily how we can be a system of support in Gibson's own renewal journey here and now today.